I think it's about time that we test the best card that is coming out of that set. And I'm, of course, talking about Bamboo Sword, the True Blade. It's not the best card that's coming out of this set. However, it's a very interesting card for Inzektors. Now, I know I've already done a video on Inzektors like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, and I know it didn't get many views in comparison to some of our other videos, but I really love this deck. And if they're going to just throw extenders and fun cards that I can toy around with Inzektors, I'm going to do a video on it because I can't think of anything else to make right now, and I haven't read Tier Element cards yet. So, I said in that video that I thought Punk Inzektor could be a fun way of playing Inzektor, and I thought I'd just throw the Bamboo Swords in there and see what we could do with it, basically. So, quickly give you the play-by-play of the deck. So we're playing 2 Zayaman, 1 Foxy Toon, 1 Deer Note, 3 Emergency Teleport. You know why we're playing these. We're going to be making Chaos Ruler, we're making Hulk, we do Dag to Scythe sort of stuff. It does a bunch of stuff. It does it in better decks. I'm throwing it in here because it ups the consistency of you seeing your Dragonfly and Centipede side of the deck, and also your Ladybug Hornet side of the deck. I think it's around 90% to see both of those, one of the Dragonfly and Centipede and one of the Hornet and Ladybug in your graveyard or in your hand, adding off the Chaos Monster. So that's pretty good. Obviously, 90% doesn't mean that you're going to be able to use both those cards, because sometimes you mill the Dragonfly with the zombie, but I guess you could summon it. It's good, but we'll get into that in a bit. We're playing 3 Centipede, 3 Inzektor Dragonfly, 1 Giga Weevil, 1 Giga Mantis, 3 Hornet, 3 Ladybug. If you want me to explain what these cards do, I'm not going to do it in this video. You can watch the other video where I go more extensively into what the Inzektors do, and a few of the actual like pure combos and that sort of stuff. I'll leave a card in the top right corner now-ish, if I can work out how to do that, because I haven't done that before. For the Inzektor spells, we're playing 1 Inzekt Caliber and 3 of the Zetrite Kawu. And then the Bamboo Swords. So, why are we playing the Bamboo Swords? So, Bamboo Sword, the True Blade, has 3 effects, technically. The equipped monster gains 0 attack is the first effect. Most of the Bamboo Swords do that, so it's just part of what they do. When the equipped monster inflicts battle damage by a direct attack, you destroy all monsters your opponent controls. It's Regeki. That's pretty good. But it's the third effect that I'm interested in for this deck. You can send this equips card to the graveyard and equip 1 Bamboo Sword equip spell from your deck to a face-up monster on the field, except for another copy of itself. So, you could equip this to a Dragonfly, use the effect to send it to the graveyard to equip a Cursed Bamboo Sword, and then your Dragonfly is going to trigger being able to allow you to special summon an Inzektor monster from the deck. That's pretty good, right? This card's not once per turn. There is no once per turn on this card, so if you have multiple, you can use multiple. Or you could use the True Blade to attach a copy of Cursed Bamboo Sword, which, again, it has 3 effects, but we only really care about 1. First effect, the equipped monster gains 0 attack. The second effect, you can target 1 other Bamboo Sword card you control, return it to the hand, and if you do, the equipped monster can attack your opponent directly this turn. That could pair pretty well with the True Sword for getting in the direct attack and breaking your opponent's board. That's pretty cool. However, the third effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Bamboo Sword card from your deck to your hand, except Cursed Bamboo Sword. Pause with dramatic effect. This card is also not once per turn. So technically, you can go Dragonfly, activate this, send itself off to equip a Cursed Bamboo Sword to your Dragonfly. Your Dragonfly will trigger to summon a Centipede. Then if you have access to Hornets, you can equip your Hornet to either your Centipede or your Dragonfly, pop your Cursed Bamboo Sword, trigger all the effects you need to trigger, and then Cursed Bamboo Sword can search another copy of the True Blade, and you can do it again. So that's pretty cool. Also playing 2 Golden Bamboo Sword, because how it works, if you open up with the True Blade, you're going to have like... So you go True Blade into the Cursed Bamboo, into the True Blade, into the Cursed Bamboo, into the True Blade, into the Cursed Bamboo. And then you could get another search off this Cursed Bamboo for something else. I'm grinding Golden Bamboo Sword, I guess, because, like, if you happen to open up this card and you open up the other ones, it's a free draw 2, which is also not once per turn, which is pretty cool. If you open up, like, 2 of these, instead of like searching for a True Blade, you can search for the Golden Bamboo Sword to get your draws. You could also play Burning Bamboo Sword, which says if you activate a Bamboo Sword card, you skip your opponent's main phase 1. This card's really this deck is really good at just like link summoning and throwing things all over the place. So you could just make a Curious, send the Thunder of Ruler, make a Griffin, add it back, and then your opponent's turn, and you'll stand with face, flip up Thunder of Ruler while you've resolved the Bamboo Sword, and then you skip your opponent's turn. That's a way of playing this deck. We're playing Scythe because it basically does the same thing. For other cards, we're playing 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. I'm playing Hand Traps. I don't really know why. This is a level 2 tuner, which is interesting, I guess, because it allows you to make Baron if you go through the punk line with the Chaos Ruler instead of going for the zombie guy. If you've already got everything you need, no point in milling another 4 cards and getting your centipedes out of deck if you don't need to. So you can make a Baron before you even commit to your normal summon a Dragonfly. That's pretty cool. We're also playing 1 Sting the Poison and 1 Pin the Bullseye. So the theory of Sting the Poison is that it is a tuner monster. It's a level 2, so you do the exact same thing, making Baron. But you can also equip this with your copy of Pico Felania. Then you pop it or link off the monster it's equipped to or whatever. Then you can banish it with your Armor Horn, which you go into in the combo. You can summon this back, banishing the Sting the Poison, so you can set up for a Leviair play to bring this back, so you can go through your Hulk lines even if you don't see the emergency teleports or the Zegamons and all that sort of stuff. So you can still set up Barons and Dagda, Scythe Locks, and that sort of stuff. Extra's pretty standard, like I said, Pico, Armor Horn, 1 Breaksword. It's in it for a reason, I guess. We have Leviair, Abyss Dweller. We can increase our Inzektor's monsters by 1 or 2, and we can make Dweller, so another Floodgate. A Palooza, another Floodgate. IP Masquerena, you tend just to make this to get monsters off board. It's nice just to have a free link too. Unicorn for the IP. Access Code, go for Unicorn, Access Code Talker to kill. We don't really need to, because Hornet pops a million times anyway. Chaos Ruler and the Zombie Dragon, or the Zombie Vampire, should I say, allows you to mill 9 cards. You get to special summon some of them, you get to add some of them. Everything in the deck is dark, except for the punk stuff, but if you're going into this card, you've already seen the punk stuff, so who really cares? Hulk, Dagda to grab the Scythe, What a Magician for the Hulk Firebrax to tag out into, and Baron to Flyer. So instead of just showing off a random combo that you might see, I'm just going to do a test hand, and we're going to see what we can do with it. If it's absolutely god-awful hand, I will respin. So, let's get started. What we got? So we've got the True Blade, we've got Dragonfly, and we've got Ladybug. So we could definitely do something with this. We've also opened up a second Cursed Bamboo Sword, so we can probably do something with the Golden Bamboo Sword. Okay, so I'm going to start off by normal summoning our Dragonfly. I'm going to equip it with the True Blade. I'm going to use the True Blade, declaring the effects, sending it to the graveyard, and we are going to equip a Cursed Bamboo Sword from our deck. That, of course, is going to trigger our Dragonfly, so we're going to be able to special summon a Centipede here. I think the best course of action here is to use the Centipede's effects and equip a copy of this Ladybug. We're going to use the effects, setting off. I guess we'll increase the Centipede by 1. We'll use this to denote the level of the 1. Then we're going to trigger the Centipede to get a search, and I'm going to grab a copy of Hornet, because we don't have one yet. I'm then going to use the Dragonfly's effect, and we're going to equip this copy of Hornet from our hands. So this is used as effects, so this is going to be really confusing with the level modulation, so I'm just not going to include that. We're going to pop both of these, because those cards leave Dragonfly at different times, we actually get to trigger this Dragonfly twice, as well as this Cursed Bamboo Sword to go and get a search. I think I'm going to grab the Golden Bamboo Sword now, because we'll be able to pop this Cursed Bamboo Sword to be able to grab another copy of the first anyway. So we're going to summon 2 copies of Centipede. Ooh, I love when Dueling Book lags. Where's the best place to go from now? So the Dragonfly and the Centipede have both used their effects. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the Centipede to grab this Ladybug. So we've used the effects. We'll increase it by 1. We'll send the Ladybug, and we'll trigger the Centipede, and we'll go to get a search for another copy of Dragonfly. Yes, pop this bad boy in the hand. I'm then going to link off both of these spent copies of Centipede. for a copy of Armorhorn. And I'm going to use this effect to extra normal this copy of Dragonfly. So this Dragonfly has used this effect, this Centipede and this Dragonfly haven't. That's the best way of doing this. So I think now I'm going to equip... Well, we've got 2 Centipedes and Graveyard. I really want to get those back into the deck before we use our Dragonflies, because they just net us more advantage. So I think we're going to equip this Cursed Bamboo Sword to this Centipedes. And then I'm going to use the effect of the Centipede to grab a Hornet. I'm now going to use this effect of the Hornet to pop both of these. We'll use the Centipede twice and the Cursed Bamboo Sword. Don't know why I'm still declaring effects. You can hear what I'm saying as I go. So we'll grab another copy of the True Blade. We have to pay attention. We only have 1 copy in deck to actually trigger off of it. And we will grab... What do we want here? We probably want a Zektrike. And we probably want a copy of Gigamantis. Not to the field, to the hand. You could probably hear the fans going. It's currently 38 degrees here in good old Norwich. So, yeah, the back is getting very hot. We're now going to use this Centipedes, and we're going to use this Armorhorn. And we're going to go into a Pico Filena. We're going to trigger the effect, and we're going to discard this Zekcalibur, because I very rarely use it anyway. And we're going to target the new Dragonfly that the effect hasn't been used of. And we're going to equip the Sting the Poison, like I said earlier, just so we can get some help plays going in a bit. So we have the True Blade. We could trigger that off of either of these Dragonflies to get another search. But what we want to do first is we want to use the Pico Filena effect to shuffle in these 3 copies of Centipede. Shuffle that a couple of times. And we get a draw. Searching the True Blade here is kind of interesting, because I guess it means we can actually trigger our Cursed Bamboo Sword to search another Golden Bamboo Sword, because we're about to draw another 4 cards in this combo, maybe get into our Punk Engine. Don't know if we'll have the space for it, but yeah, where do we go from here? So, I am actually thinking I'm going to go for the Hornet effect here. Yeah, I'm going to use the Dragonfly, and I'm going to equip the Hornet, and I'm going to use the effect to pop this Sting the Poison, triggering this Dragonfly twice to allow us to special summon 2 of those Centipedes we just shuffled back into the deck. So let's do that. Both of these Dragonflies level 3, which is interesting because it means we can get our Sting the Poison out a little bit easier. I think I actually kind of want to do that now, so we can use this Pico to make Hulk, but I guess if we do that, we're kind of giving up. No, because we could bring it back with the Gigamantis. So yeah, I feel I actually could do that now. I still have a Centipede in deck. I'm not really going to have another good chance of getting one. So I'm going to use this True Blade now. Use the effect, send it to the graveyard, and we're going to equip a copy of Cursed Bamboo, which we should have 1 more left in deck. We do. To this Dragonfly. Which is of course going to trigger the Dragonfly, and we're going to get to special summon out another copy of Centipede. Now that we've really got everything out of the deck that we kind of want, and we have access to our Hulk players, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to overlay these Dragonflies. We'll equip this to this, because it doesn't have to equip to the monster that popped it. Yeah, it could just equip to anything. So I'm going to equip to the Centipede. We'll overlay for this copy of Levier. Obviously, we have nothing banished quite yet. But what have we got in Grave? How many do I really want to banish? Not many of these, to be perfectly honest. So I guess maybe we have to go a little bit further before we do this. But we needed to make the space anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So we will trigger the Centipedes, and I'm going to grab back the Ladybug this time. And we'd use the effect, and I'm going to increase the boy by 1. This will allow us to get a search. So I'm going to grab probably the other Giga. We have Zetkulu as well, which is quite interesting. as long as I keep this one clear, I can use this one to grab the Hornet to pop the Armor Horn, because of course it locks us into insects, which will allow us to go down the Hulk line. So we can use these to go into Apo. Do I need another pop buff at that point? Well, I can Zek Karu for another copy of Dragonfly if so that's not the biggest issue in the world. So I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to grab Dragonfly again. So we've used this guy's effect. We'll use the Ladybug, and we'll get a search. So I am going to search for kind of running out of good targets at this point. Because we've got a Zekaru. We don't really need another Hornet. I guess we could potentially banish one. So if we grab another Hornet here... Yeah, if we grab another Hornet here, we don't have to worry about banishing one in Grave. Which means we don't have to banish so many Centipedes, which is probably good. So we go to Apo here. I guess going into Apo here is pretty decent. We could have probably gone for Dagda earlier. I'll tell you what, we'll go for Dagda here. Dagda doesn't have to be different names, right? It's just 2 effect monsters. 2 monsters with different names. Okay, so we can't do that with the Centipede. So we'd have to do it with the Picaflina, which then gives us not enough materials to go into the Appaloosa. But we need to get to the Dagda. We can get to the Dagda through the Hulk line, so that's not the biggest issue in the world. So I'm going to link off these Centipedes and the Pico to go into a copy of Appaloosa. See, normally we'd be using our Gigamantises to bring back our Dragonflies, and we could potentially go into Digusto Emerald, which I don't actually think I've put in this extra deck. That's probably what should be here instead of this Break Sword. That's what we'd normally be doing, but because they're all under the Leviaire, because I've done it at quite an awkward time, we're kind of having to play around that. So yeah, we've got plenty of insects engraved for the Horn now. So I'm going to use the effects. I'm gonna keep this copy of Pico, I think, because I don't play Bardiche anymore in this deck. So no, we'll banish the Pico. We'll banish a Centipede. We'll banish the Hornet. We'll banish the Hornet and we'll banish the Stingler Poison, which is of course what we want to banish, to bring back this copy of Arborhorn. He's not long for this world because I am entirely planning to use this Centipede to grab the Hornet that's in my hand now. And using this to pop this copy of Armorhorn. Why are we doing that? Because we're locked into insects, and I don't want to be locked into insects. We're then going to detach a material from this Dragonfly, and we can special summon back this Stingler Poison. I said Dragonfly, I meant Leviaire. Now we can go through the Hulk line by using the Leviaire, the Sea Dragon, and this Stingler Poison. So let's go for a Hulk. We can then use the Hulk effect, and we can grab a... Well, I guess we grab a Gamma here, because it is the only tuner left in the deck. Sorry, I summoned this thing, the Poison, but I forgot to add the Pin the Bullseye, because that is why we're playing this card. Whole reason just to search an extender if you control an insect monster. I don't know if it's going to be very relevant here, but we might as well use it. So we still have this Zektrike. So we could use the Zektrike to grab another copy of Dragonfly. We can use the Dragonfly to send something. Probably just use the Ladybug. Increase the level by 2. Special summon a Hornet from the deck. That would be 5, 8, and a 10. So we could Baron with this. Then how do we get to our copy of Dagda is the question. We can pop the Gigamantis. Can we? Can we pop the Gigamantis in any way? Not really. I mean, we still have 4 draws sat here. I just want to, like, maximize getting as many cards out as possible so we can draw into better cards. Yeah, let's use this Zextrike Karu, and let's use it on this copy of Centipede. So both of these fall off. Both of them are going to trigger, or I say, Zextrike's going to trigger to special summon us that 3rd copy of Dragonfly, which is still in the deck, which still has targets. And Cursed Bamboo Sword is going to grab us that Golden Bamboo Sword. So now, one of you can summon themselves back, right? And you're a 6. So what does that mean? 6, 9, 10, we can make it 8. We go into Chaos Ruler. I don't know if that really does anything for us, to be perfectly honest. Not really. So that's probably not the way to go. I'm going to activate this copy of True Blade on this Dragonfly, and then I'm going to use both copies of these Golden Bamboo Swords, and we're going to draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I believe that was all of our copies of Inzektor cards in the deck to special summon off of this Dragonfly, which is honestly quite hysterical. I'll just give it a quick check. Yeah, we have 1 Ladybug, so we can make that. We can make this Dragonfly a 5, sorry, plus the 2. Can Ladybug attach? Ladybug can attach. We can go to 5. We can go to 3, and then we can go to 2, which makes us a Baron, which does technically work. It's just, yeah, I've bungled this, but I mean, who really cares? Because none of you care about Inzektor combos. I'm doing this purely for my own enjoyment. So yeah, we're going to use this copy of Ladybug and equip it to this Dragonfly. We're going to use the effects, and we're going to increase this guy's level by 2. And then Dragonfly is going to trigger special summon out this Ladybug. So this means we have 5, 4, and 5, 2, 7, 9. We can just pin the bullseye to make it a 10, and then we can technically use Hornet for something, if that is actually relevant. I don't think it is. Maybe it's just more important going into Dagda, to be perfectly honest, because none of these are really free specials. We can use the Giga Weevil to bring something back. So we could equip Giga Weevil to the Ladybug, bring back the Hornet, pop, summon a guy. Yeah, no, this is a little bit bad, honestly. How am I making Dagda? I'm not making Dagda, am I? There's no way. There's no way I'm making Dagda. So there's plenty of ways of making Dagda, but not making Dagda and Baron. This is the 5, this is the 2. We can use the 1. We can go into... You know what? I fancy gambling. I don't even know what we can hit at this point, but I'm going to special summon this guy. And we're going to use the 1, the 2, and the 5 of Dragonfly to go into Chaos Ruler. We're going to mill 5. Not even sure what I want to hit here. We hit Scythe. Okay. What does that change? Does that change anything? If we can now get to Baron, we can summon back this Scythe. No, we don't. We just add it to hand, because that's what Chaos Ruler does. And we can set that bad boy. So our Hulk can hit it. So there we go. We've got our Scythe side of this sorted. We still haven't used the Ladybug. So what would that kind of achieve? We could make an IP, I guess. Anything else in here I really want to make? I can make IP. Oh, can we make a Dweller? Is that possible? I don't have any more Inzektors in my deck for Dragonfly. I can use the Gigamantis to bring back... I think we might actually be able to. So I'm going to equip this Gigamantis to this Ladybug. And I'm going to use the Ladybug's effect, and we're going to grab a copy of Hornet. We're going to use the Hornet, and we're going to pop the Gigamantis. That's going to allow us to special summon back a copy of... Well, it could be Dragonfly, it could be anything, really. I'm going to bring back this Centipede. Then... I think we're like 1 pop short, unfortunately. So we could just use these to go into IP. We could use the Giga Weevil, quick to Centipede, pop. We get some more searches if there's anything relevant to grab. I think there's 2 copies of Zektrike in deck still. No, there's not. Like 1. That doesn't really help us in any way. No, I think we just make IP here, honestly, because we can't increase the level of this guy and pop the Giga Weevil to be able to summon another one from graveyards. Yeah, I guess we just make IP. Make IP... We would be able to go to Dagda here as well if we wanted to, but that's not really that relevant. We can make IP with these 2, and then if we pop the guy, we can also make a break sword that doesn't really do anything. So I don't really know why we'd bother doing that. So yeah, we're just going to use these 2 monsters to make IP. And we're just going to end here. So we've ended on Scythelock and Appaloosa. So yeah, you can see what I was trying to do with this deck. I've definitely misplayed this like a million different times, because doing things on the fly is difficult with Inzektor. But I'm sure you can see that there is something here if you have the brain to play it, which I don't. If somebody is better at making combos than I am, and it's just better at playing combo decks, you might be able to find some really fun lines you can do with this deck that isn't just Cyflock and plenty of other things. Like, going through the synchro lines with the Inzektors is definitely poor form. Like, we used a lot of our resources just to get out Sting the Poison, which, let's be honest, probably isn't the correct way of playing this deck, but it was interesting. And we did all this without actually touching the punk side of the deck. So this was all fueled by Dragonfly plus Ladybug plus a copy of True Blade. And we drew 5 cards in that turn. We searched pretty much everything. We have 6 cards left for the deck. Like, you could definitely do something with this. Anyway, I've rambled on for enough. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like. Please subscribe. I'm going to have some better form content out at some point. Dylan's still planning on doing the Evil Twin combos. He'll get them to me eventually. Yeah, and I promise I won't make a video about Inzektors for a while. Alright, see you later.